game week. Excited about this. Going to take a look at the Giants this evening, and then we'll start having reports on Wednesday, Thursday, offense, defense, kind of figure out a way to attack these guys, see if we can do some good. Right now, though, I want to do a little Cowboys possibly going right or going wrong. And I'm going to throw out just a subject, and you guys can tell me, does it have a chance to go right or does it have a chance to go wrong? And maybe give me a little why you think that. The first one I want to go with is Zach.
Okay.
Mike McCarthy as a play caller. Could this go right or could it go wrong?
I think it very well could go right. He's had success and won a Super Bowl doing it before. I think that he has been able to kind of get an understanding the last couple of years of Dak's strengths and weaknesses, and hopefully can use that to a benefit, And so I'm cautiously optimistic, but I can definitely see where it could go wrong, to your point, as you've talked about all offseason, and eventually Brian Schottenheimer's the one who takes over the play calling.
That would be my worry, that all of a sudden they don't start very well. Say it's a 3-3 start, and Mike kind of like, the offense really just isn't, doing what I thought it would do. And I hand over the play calling maybe to Brian in that way, or the thing could go 6-0 and McCarthy's on a run.
If the offensive line isn't healthy, if Steele's not as good as he was last year pre-injury, then I don't know if either system would work. But my gut is telling me this is what Dak has needed.
Yeah.
Chances to get rid of the ball quicker for more high percentage throws.
Okay, then Dawson, I'll come back with you on this one. Prescott's turnovers, right or wrong?
I think it's going to go right. Number one, because of the turnover-worthy throw stat, and he was 13th last year.
Sure.
That isn't great. That's below average slightly, but it's not the most in the NFL. So I think it'll return right around to somewhere normal, between 8 and 10 or something like that.
I think that he's still going to throw some interceptions. But he's not going to lead the league. So I think ultimately it'll be a good trend. It'll go right. But I still think that will be something during the course of the season. We're going to be taking calls. There was a game here where Dak had a couple interception game. Because I still think he's going to be aggressive at times. And it could be a negative.
I think it's going to go right because of what Dawson said. I feel like that throwing to Brandon Cooks, throwing to Lamb, throwing to Ferguson, potentially throwing to Pollard.
Yeah.
Maybe you're not going to have balls. I'm sorry, Noah Brown, but the ball's not going to be clanging off.
A lot of bad luck last year.
Yeah. And I think they're going to be on the same page. Some of those routes that CeeDee Lamb ran that didn't quite finish, that Dak threw, and he's thinking that someone's going to
routes.
Yeah. Somebody's going to break inside and get the ball, whether it's Lamb or Schultz. So I think there'll be less. And I think you're right about McCarthy. I think McCarthy can kind of get him out of that. And to get him out of that the way he calls the game.
Plus, they have more speed on the field now without Zeke, with adding Cooks, with Turpin getting involved. You can probably create more space between levels.
Yeah.
And
more separation. Yeah, I like what you're saying there. Okay, pass rush. Going right or going wrong? Cowboys pass rush.
That's going to go right. And if it doesn't, this team's not going to be very good, because I think that's the calling card. That's the strength of the entire team, is their pass rush. You've got arguably the best in Micah Parsons. Tank, we've heard, has had the best training camp. He's finally been healthy. Hopefully the Sam Williams injury isn't something serious. I think Osa Digizua in the middle is going to have a better year. The pass rush should be something that the Cowboys can always hang their hat on and say, this is the strength of our football team.
The only thing that's going to get in the way of the pass rush is teams figuring out a way to run if the Cowboys defense is bad. And maybe that's a factor against Daniel Jones, but it will be that they're terrified of the pass rush, so they are running. And if Hankins is hurt and Mozzie's not playing well, things could get away from you again in the running game defense.
Yeah, to me, the pass rush, the thing that I'm worried about in week one, and I like what you said, Dawson, I really do, with the teams just saying, we're not going to let you rush. We're going to see how good you are stopping the run. Yeah. And if the Cowboys aren't up to snuff, then maybe that's a moot point there. But
this is an elite group.
It is. It is. And that's the one thing. The one thing that I keep saying this, and maybe I'll be dead balls wrong about it, but I worry about Sam Williams in week one. And just is that toe going to be good? I think they're going to need. They've got enough.
They have so many good players.
They have
though.
good pass rushers, but I'm just saying, Sam Williams to me could add a different element.
He can put you over the top.
Yeah, because
He
now
can.
you start putting Tank inside, with Osa inside,
Right.
and then Parsons off the edge.
Do they use Van Der Esch like we saw? I mean, I think what's going to aid the pass rush and make it better is I think the secondary is going to be better with Stephon Gilmore. They should have more time to rush and get home to finish.
Yeah, I agree with you on that. Okay, Dawson, Brandon Aubrey, he's our kicker.
Yeah.
Is that going to go right or is that going to go wrong?
I can't imagine it going right. I just can't. It seemed like the pressure was getting to him. He's inexperienced. This team is not making good kicker decisions. They have not earned my trust. I am pulling for Brandon Aubrey. Soccer guy, love the story, and I'm pulling for him. But damn it, these Cowboys are getting careless. The most careless they've been in any position since they were drafting baseball players to play quarterback.
Yeah, that's a good recall right there. That was careless. The capital, whatever.
I want it to go right. Plano guy like myself. I'm hopeful, but most likely it's not going to go. It's going to go wrong. I mean, he's just to Gavin's point that we haven't gotten enough of a sample size even in preseason. We saw him kick 2 almost 60-yarders. He made one, he missed one.
Yeah,
right. I mean, in practice, he's made the easy one supposedly. In a game situation, it's very, very different, and we've yet to see it to be able to put our faith in that.
Wasn't even good enough to play soccer professionally, Brian. We're making a big step up to American football.
I was kind of hopeful that he can maybe come over and help you with coaching. Though maybe he could be an assistant, a trusted assistant on your staff there.
I could have
the
used
ladies.
Some help. I could have used some.
Hey,
help
the kickoffs are going to go right.
The kickoffs will be right.
He can boom those.
I needed somebody to talk to the refs.
The final thing I got here in the last minute or so is depth along the offensive line. Is that going to go right or is that going to go wrong?
It's probably going to go wrong because I don't think Adoga's good, and you're going to be relying on 2 rookies who I think eventually will go right, but thrust into the fire there. Like TJ Bass, I'm confident in. Awesome Ridgers took a lot of strides, but if he's matched up, let's say it's against the 49ers and he's playing a Nick Bosa, that's not going to go right for him. It's a lot to ask that guy. So I think for this year, it's definitely the weakest part of their team, and I think more than likely it's going to go wrong.
Dawson?
Not a lot of confidence here, Brian. I think we're going to be asking Dak to overcome, and I think against a lot of regular season opponents, he'll figure out a way to get it done and still be top 10 in offense or whatever. But when you get to the postseason against these physical fronts, I'm still having PTSD from what Washington's front did late last year, and then San Francisco. It's like the physical teams are going to be too much unless you have Tyron, Tyler, Zach, Steele, Biotish. You got to have those 5.
Yeah, I like what you guys are saying, but I'm going to take the approach is that I feel like with Bass, I totally get it with Adoga. I totally get it.
And I think he's going to be the first one they go to.
That scares me because, coaches always go to the veteran guy. But I think if they play Bass or Awesome Richards, I'm going to say that can go right.
I'm hopeful there, too.
I can say it can go right.